The issue is, and I'll say a lot of New York DJs that the newer, younger DJs, they are now record box DJs. It's the lazy DJ now. They don't even want to bring the laptop out. Mixing hip hop is not smooth on record box.
This is a little controversial, or you're saying this is a fact?
This is a fact. If you're a hip hop DJ, I won't book you if you're on record box.
Sticks.
It's a reason you still see Jazzy Jeff with that laptop out.
I want to know what brought you here to New York and Brooklyn, and to, like, you know, you've been here since, how long have you been in New York?
About 7 years now.
7 years.
Yeah.
So 2017.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I want to. What brought you here to New York and Brooklyn? You have like so many parties, and you have all these EPs and production. You know, I want to get into all of that, but I think one of my biggest questions is what brought you to Brooklyn?
Honestly, the money, bro. I can't even lie.
Yeah. Just as simple as that.
Yeah, I was in Atlanta at the time. I was tour DJing a little bit, going on tour with like Travis Porter, doing different shows. I did like a little small tour with Quentin Miller, like when the Drake Meek Mill stuff happened.
Shit.
As well. So
wow.
At the time, I just feel like I wasn't growing anymore, bro. Like Atlanta was always hold a special place in my heart, but I think as an individual, there was a lot of like politics and gatekeeping amongst black people that I just kind of wasn't used to. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, we should be all, you know, helping each other.
In Atlanta?
Yeah, in Atlanta. It was a lot of gatekeeping, a lot of older DJs trying to, you know, pitch and hold different things. And I feel like it shouldn't be like that. I feel like we should all be working and, you know, growing together, you know, for it to be, you know, a black city. And I had a conversation with a DJ manager of another DJ duo, Angel and Dren's former manager, and he was basically like, "Yo, if my DJs lived in Atlanta, they'd be broke. You should come to New York on a business trip." But he was like, "Don't come for like a week or two." He was like, "You should come for a month." And I literally was inspired after that conversation, so I hit up one of my college homies, JR. I was like, "Yo, can I stay on your sofa for a month? I'm gonna come out here, make it happen." And so I literally drove my car from Atlanta all the way. I had a gig in Philly at a Silk City Diner. Then I drove over from Philly to New York. I had a 5-hour energy. I did it in one take. I might have stopped and got gas like twice. And when I got to New York, I literally had like a couple gigs set up already. And I just it felt like the Harlem Renaissance. Like black people was just giving me opportunity. Like I would do one party. I think the first party I might have DJed was this party called Fun with Friends. It's like a big warehouse party they do. They do outdoor parties, block parties, but they do it like Labor Day weekend, 4th of July.
Where is that at? Is it in Brooklyn?
Yeah, it's usually in Brooklyn.
So all the gigs that you got was Brooklyn based initially? I
think I was getting a couple in the city too, like early on, like Angel and Dren, they had a residency at Piano. So when they weren't in town, like they would hit me up and I would just fill in for them on like a Thursday night. This is back when Pianos was actually, you know, of some substance.
Right.
I don't think it no longer is, but.
So this is 2017.
Yeah.
And you were in the Atlanta scene for what, like how many years?
I was there for 3 years after I graduated. I went to the University of Tennessee. Atlanta's like 3 hours from UT, so
yeah.
It just made sense. All my friends were going to get jobs. I was like, yo, I just want to DJ. I was already making money in college. Like I was throwing homecoming parties. I'm like 19, 20 years old, taking home $2 grand, you know, paying my own bills, paying my rent. So I was like, yo, I can make a career out of this. And I was already kind of popping in Tennessee, so it just transferred over like easily, I feel like.
And the music was dominated by Atlanta in the South, so it was kind of an easy transition into New York a little bit more. Or do you think did you have to like learn more genres when you came to New York, especially in Brooklyn?
I feel like New York is a little bit more Caribbean heavy,
for sure,
and Afrobeat heavy than the South is.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have a dancehall set.
Yeah, definitely.
You got to have those key like soca tracks.
Exactly, but there's also a big transplant crowd out here. As much as real New Yorkers hate transplants for some reason, I do not know.
They still do?
Yeah, they still do. It's a lot of hate.
The native New Yorkers like it's like a in the past thing. I don't know. Like there's rarely any like too many native New Yorkers that are still able to live in New York. Like, it's tough. You know?
But they don't realize that New York is built off of transplants. Yeah, it's built off of immigration. A lot of real New Yorkers, I'll say black New Yorkers, like their parents come from the Caribbean or Africa or somewhere. So like y'all are essentially transplants as well. Y'all just been here longer.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Family wise, your parents are transplants if you look at it.
I think it started becoming like a city with transplants when like probably in the 2000s when we started seeing more people coming in for like different reasons than like work. When it was like it was like kind of like it was like a scene to come in. There was all these like TV shows, Sex in the City. People wanted to like kind of just be a part of the New York shit. And I think probably around the time when you were in Brooklyn and like Brooklyn was changing.
Yeah, like Brooklyn wasn't
right.
People wasn't partying in Brooklyn like that when I got here.
Yeah.
And it's like now Brooklyn is the scene. A lot of it's, I'm not gonna say it's all built off of transplants, but like a big portion of like larger parties.
I think it might be a little bit.
Yeah, we got some big parties like South House. It's one of the biggest parties in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like Tochi's from Tennessee. He's Nigerian, but he's from Tennessee. I'm from Tennessee. I consider myself the biggest young DJ in New York if I want to just put the stamp on it, like in my opinion. But I also have respect for New York, so I don't overstep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know I'm a visitor.
So when you came to New York and you started doing your, some of these gigs, what was the biggest, I don't know, what was the biggest hurdle or obstacle, like music wise? You were like, yo, I gotta fucking, maybe you went out a couple times, you're like, yo, I gotta build this crate, or I have to build this, I gotta learn more about this. And then what were you most confident in?
Honestly, bro, when I got to New York, I literally told my homies, I was like, I'm gonna get popping in 6 months. Watch, because I already knew how to move off of Atlanta. Atlanta's way more political than New York, in my opinion, just music industry wise. And
like, explain a little bit. Like,
it's just like I feel like a lot of DJs, we all know we gotta get through like the gatekeeping, and then we gotta build followings and learn how to market ourselves, branding. Collecting emails, learning Facebook, Instagram ads for promotion, like learning every step to throwing parties. Like that was always my mindset. I'm like, the promoters, they need us. The crowd coming to see the DJs. So if I learn how to be a promoter, I can't lose. I won't need anybody to book me. So I already had that mentality coming to New York. So I was like, I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna get a residency. I landed my first residency in less than a year at Lot 45. And I was just literally DJing every week at Lot 45, and we had K Tronada would come through, get a section. Miguel came through, Lizzo.
Yeah.
And this is like, nobody was going to Lot 45 at the time. They just had a good programmer, and the venue just wanted to invest in these nights. Like ASAP Rocky would come through. We would book Chad. I DJ with Chad Hugo. He did a DJ set. I didn't even know he DJ'd, you know, like Young Guru, Jay-Z's engineer did a DJ set. Like we just had all these different people. A lot of the Solation cats was coming through.
Yeah.
And I was just getting branded on these parties every week. And then literally after a year, 2018, I started throwing my own parties because I was used to doing that in college. I think by the time I've been DJing 15 years. Like by the time I got to New York, I might have been, I don't know, do the math on that. I'm not that good at it. But I had already, I had my legs in throwing parties, you know what I'm saying? From like those old homecoming parties and the fraternity parties. So when I got here, it was just like everything in New York is amplified. Like I feel like the rest of like the US, most places are moving like 5 to 10 years behind what New York is. So me having that mentality, and I feel like a lot of people, I'm from like a smaller market, and I feel like a lot of people that live in these bigger markets, they don't appreciate what they have. So when guys from smaller markets come in, we like, y'all got this club, y'all got, and we just 10X in that fast.
There's more venues, there's more opportunity. Whereas in Atlanta, whoever was popping 20 years, 15 years ago is still holding on to that venue.
Exactly.
They're not letting you in.
Exactly.
They're not going to give you a night.
My friends still call me about it, bro. They're like, yo, I can't get this venue. They not answering the phone.
So if I'm in Atlanta and I've been in this since the late 90s, I'm still in it and I'm still a part of whatever club is still there. So if you want to come in, you have to like talk to me, and then I control your rate. So you can never really grow.
Essentially,
you can never make money.
At the time, Atlanta's a little different now. It's not as many clubs that are open right now. But yeah, at the time, it kind of, those are the hurdles you got to jump through. But I was able to, you know, make some money. And
so no matter how hard like you want to work and how much you want to hustle, Atlanta, you still have to deal with, like you said, the gatekeepers.
Yeah, but like, can't nobody stop you if you got your own motion. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was throwing my own parties in Atlanta with my homies. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as much as you want to DJ that popping party and they not booking you for whatever reason out of your control, you could throw your own event and you're going to get more money and you just going to build that email list and learn how to throw parties.
Right.
So when I got to New York, I just knew how to move already. And at the time in New York, 2017, DJs wasn't throwing their own parties like that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So like everybody was still, you know, kind of going to up and down, getting a little bottle service type of vibes, you know what I'm saying? And then Brooklyn, we only had what? Lot 45 and Kinfolk at the time. Maybe Brooklyn Bowl, like Questlove would do a party over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A little
Yeah, I remember
crowd.
hearing about Brooklyn Bowl and Questlove. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I throw my own parties at Brooklyn Bowl. I did 900 people at the last one a few weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So
Crazy.
I've always been like, I have to brand myself with everything I do, even though I have like 5 to 10 different party concepts. Everything's Mike Nasty.
You got a lot of party concepts.
A lot,
Yeah.
man.
I just want to go through a couple of them, a few of them. Yeah. So you have Sunset Social, and then you have Midnight Bowl, which is like nighttime bowling,
Yeah.
and then you have We Like to Party. Is that one of your oldest parties? We Like to Party.
That's my first party I threw.
That's
in
your
New York.
first party. That was in 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've had that since you came out here
Right.
to Brooklyn, and then you have Jumpin' Thumpin'.
Yeah.
Which is your house party.
Yes, sir.
And have you always been DJing house?
It's crazy. My family is actually from Chicago, like my dad's
Got it.
side.
Wow.
So
I wanted to ask you if there was a house scene in Memphis.
Absolutely not. Not that I know. No. But I mean, I just, you know, you grow up on like the Earth, Wind and Fire vibes and
Right.
stuff like that, which heavily influenced disco and stuff,
course,
influenced
yeah.
house music. And it's crazy. After I started DJing, my grandmother, I think I was DJing for like 5 years already. My grandmother, she was like, your grandfather used to DJ in Chicago. And then my dad used to DJ as well in Memphis, you know, and it's just like, with me not knowing that till after I was already DJing, I was born to do this. It's in my blood. I'm a third generation DJ.
That's
know what I'm
crazy.
saying? And I never even met my grandfather. He passed away before I was born.
Is there something about the way you DJ'd when you came to New York that stood out from other motherfuckers in Brooklyn that was going on?
Bro, I'm a scratch DJ. Like,
Yeah.
I trained myself off of DJ Angelo. I don't know if y'all remember the tutorials on YouTube. He's a DNC champion.
From England or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ Angelo, I'm like learning the orbit scratch, all this stuff. And I'm in the dorm room, this like sophomore year. And at the time I had the new Mark NS7, which like a little 6-inch platter or whatever. But
Going to work on that motherfucker.
that shit, it spins, it got torque to it. So I'm just learning to scratch on that. And then when I got some bread, I went and bought some 1200 techs. And then I had the Rain 57 with the little toggle thing.
Yeah, we all live the same
I'm-
life, bro.
And I'm just putting scratch videos. Like there was a time, like I remember driving up to Nashville for the Red Bull 3 style.
Yeah, yeah.
Like just to check it out and stuff like I wanted to be that battle type of DJ, but I was like, like later on, I'm just like, I like the business of it. Like I'm a party rocker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not a battle style DJ. It takes a lot to do that. But I'm like, yo, I'm a scratch DJ. I could cut, but I'm from the South, which is kind of.
But I was gonna ask you if I feel like a lot of Memphis DJs are like in the South, like they can scratch well, or no, there wasn't part of that shit.
Was there any like spillage of like chop and screw culture in Memphis?
A lot. Yeah. We grew up listening to that too. Texas was heavy. I don't think it's a lot. It's some down there.
Yeah.
There's even more in Atlanta. Like there's some nice
Turntablists.
what's Nabs? What's the other guy? Bald headed guy.
Clever.
Clever's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a few down there. They gonna get my Atlanta card for not remembering these guys' names. It's one guy, he DJs Precise.
Oh, precise.
Yeah, problem. Like Atlanta got some dogs.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's great to have that, and I tell younger DJs this all the time. It's great to have that aspect of it, but once I like learn the party side of it, I'm like, the women don't care about this. And then when I was in Atlanta, this older lady, she had to be in her 40s. She walked up to me. She was like, "Why are you doing all that scratching over the music?" And I was like, All right, okay.
Seasoning, man. This shit
I knew the
seasoning.
place for it. I'm like, it's cool on Instagram, but like in the parties, you a party rocking, they don't really want. It's cool to like your transition, you cut in, get a little chirp in, but like people not really trying to. Like I got homies, I be like, yo, you scratching too much, bro. You scratching like.
It has to be used as like, especially for hip hop, scratching has to be used almost like a house buildup. It has to be more musical and percussion percussion based. If you're not using it like that, it just becomes like a distraction.
Exactly. It's the seasoning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But if you use it as an enhancer, and like if you use it as something to build up, if you know a big song's coming and there's energy, if you use it to build up the energy and use it more as a percussion base, to me, that's what I've learned, that a lot of DJs, especially with musical backgrounds, they understand that. Whereas like scratchers with no musical background, they don't really know how to like utilize it right.
They don't know how to count. Like I'm in piano school right now, jazz piano school. I've been in there for a year. Like I know how to read music. Like dudes is blending songs in that between the 4 and the 8 bar. Like they on like the 7, the 3.
People know the count though now. No, it's
You be
different.
Fam, it's way different.
You be
now.
hearing like the first and second bar of the second verse before after the hook.
The issue is, and I'll say a lot of New York DJs that the newer, younger DJs, they are now record box DJs. It's the lazy DJ now. They don't even want to bring the laptop out. So it's like, and if you're mixing hip hop,
or they can't afford a laptop, it's easier.
They
Can they?
I feel like they can.
MacBooks are affordable now. You can get an old MacBook for $400.
I think it's easier. I mean, obviously, from my perspective, I think it's easier to get a fucking flash drive.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and then
But this the issue. Mixing hip hop is not smooth on record box.
Explain.
I spin record box when I do house music sets. I don't bring a laptop out when I do house music because it's designed for electronic music. Even the way the grids are,
like quantized, like the way it's just like
not even the quantized part. It's just the way it's very robotic. It's not like Serato is.
This is a little controversial. Or you're saying this is a fact.
This is a fact. I don't even book hip hop. If you're a hip hop DJ, I won't book you if you're on record box.
Sticks.
No, not happening. I've never. You can't say I booked one. Never. I've never had.
This is interesting,
and I'm never,
because a lot of DJs that I look up to and I love are on sticks.
I know.
Like,
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen
it. They're amazing hip hop DJs.
They might be, but in New York, there's a new DJ every 6 months, and they're going straight to record box.
I think that's a lot of cities, though. That's a lot of cities.
You're probably right about that.
All right, so wait. I want to hear this. I want to talk about this a little bit more. So break this down a little bit more about what you're saying. So you're saying that the way the sticks are in record boxes, it doesn't read the files correctly in the CDJs? Or what were you saying?
It's not their transitions from a skill. I'm just talking pure skill set, not even hardware.
Okay.
It's just not.
I thought you were talking about hardware.
Nah, it's just not. Well, the hardware just don't set you up to have the best skill set, if that makes sense. Like, it's a reason you still see Jazzy Jeff with that laptop out. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of DJs that cut and get busy, not saying you have to cut. I know talented DJs that can't cut at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they can barely blend. I'm hearing train wrecks all the time on record box, bro.
shit.
Well, from the younger DJs.
Yeah. Older DJs are still on laptops. And I don't consider I'm still a younger DJ.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself old.
I don't know what year it was, but there was a year when every fucking Miami DJ, from Dessa to Spencer Tracy, they were like, we all on sticks. And then they went back to laptop.
It's just
I think it was like, I forgot what year it was. Either
because it's not sustainable. Like
it's not as fun, bro. If we gonna get down to it, it's not as fun.
You might remember something and you're like, oh, this song. And you could type it in real quick.
So you're saying for house and EDM and dance music.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
Perfect.
So I just think of it as a time limit window.
Yeah.
So like with hip hop, especially now, but for me, it's always been with hip hop or any open format set. Hip hop, you have a 20 to 30 second window at most sometimes to cue songs and get it ready and do what you're going to do. I feel like even now it's even worse. You got to really run through a lot, even like the new records that come out.
Yeah, you can't let two verses rock on a lot of those.
No, like yo, you could barely get a verse off.
Yeah, yeah.
You're better off repeating the hook twice. You know, like a new hot record now, maybe 30, 45 seconds at most. Whereas back in the day, you could play two verses, you could play 2 minutes. So for me, on record box and sticks, you got to move fucking fast.
It hurts your creativity because it's sometimes.
Does it hurt it?
It hurts it because I feel like sometimes I'll be mixing. I got this one song and I'm like, this transition is going to be so fire. And I'm literally, that search bar is your best friend. Boom, drag it in. You can't do that on record box.
The 3000s made it a little easier. I would say that, like if you are playing on sticks, but I think in order for you as a hip hop DJ to go left, or even an open format DJ to go left, or like go into a different crate easily, like
because house music is different. House music,
you know what you're playing.
People come to hear what you want to play, and you're taking them on a journey.
Right,
you might play 7 minutes of a record. And
yeah, but there in house music, there's a 2-minute window. I'd say at the least.
Depends on the
the
style.
minimum. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would see, you know, well, tech house. I've been seeing a lot of like tech house DJs. They're almost quick mixing.
Yeah.
So a lot of like tech house DJs that I hear, they're like, you know, they're one build up and they're out. They're not even going to the second breakdown build up.
And this is more like for clubs that are like the club is the pool, or is it the artist?
No, so like I just think with a tech house DJ, it's almost like open format because tech house is like they're doing remixes of like hip hop, disco, like there's tech house remixes of everything.
Yeah.
In dance music house there's everything, but tech house specifically and certain EDM, I think it's almost like there's an open format EDM tech house genre, and I feel like those DJs, you know, I went to see like Loud Luxury. And they were almost like an open format DJ. The way they were spinning, it was just like, you know, it was like a disco song, build up, hit, next song, build up, hit, next song, and it was just like.
But see, that's because
it was
that's
all
their
vocals
audience.
and pop. Yeah,
they're watering it down for the audience. You know?
But that's that. I would say that's that top 40 commercial EDM tech house scene. So I'm like, yo, 2-minute window is better than a 30-second window. So that 2 minutes gives you some time to scroll and use record box. And there's still somewhat of a vibe.
Right.
But the house, like in a dance, you know, in an actual house party, yeah, I would say you have a 4 to 5 minute window sometimes on that. Yeah. So, and then I think the sticks, you know, DJ on sticks, and you tell me if you agree, I feel like it's almost like vinyl. It's where you can kind of like vibe to it. You're not looking at waves. You're not searching, and you just it's everyone that plays on sticks says, "Yo, this is the closest thing I feel like I'm DJing on vinyl."
I haven't heard that.
Never heard that?
That's very unique. I haven't heard that.
A lot of Serato motherfuckers that I know that.
But see, you got a different circle, so it's like those DJs are very versatile. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the 22-year-old DJ that's like he might model on the side, and he's like, I want to DJ now.